People tell me all of the time I have this knack for getting things done. And maybe that's why I chose a corporate career in project management. Now, anytime I take on a new project or seek out to reach a new goal, I check in with these 3 factors because they really help me to be more successful in achieving my goals. So stay tuned because I'm going to share with you what those 3 factors are and how you can apply them in your life so that you can have more success. Now, if you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in, and consider subscribing to my channel and clicking that notification bell so that each time I upload a video about life in France, moving abroad, or finding the confidence and courage to live life on your terms, you will be notified. My name is Patricia Brooks, and almost 5 years ago now, I left my project management job in the States and I moved to the south of France to find myself. Really wasn't sure what my next professional move was, but I knew I needed a break. And over the course of 2.5 years, I kind of figured it out. And I knew that I wanted to help women who wanted to move abroad, overcome fear and self-doubt, so that they could experience what I'm experiencing now. As a part of creating a business, I have stepped into the role of YouTuber. Now, last year at this time, I set out in earnest to create a successful channel. And I checked in with these 3 factors before I did that. And so I want to share with you what those factors are using that lens. And then at the end of the video, I want to share with you how you can use these 3 factors to help you have more success in your life. All right. So a year ago, I decided that it was time for me to start my YouTube channel. Actually, I created a YouTube channel way back in 2016 because I had this dream of being a YouTuber. However, I did not have the know-how to do it. And so over the course of 5 years, I created a lot of videos, had 39 people subscribe to my channel, and a handful of views on each of those videos. Not great results, but I did not know what I was doing. But as a result of that, when I set out to create my YouTube channel last year, I did not necessarily believe that I would be successful in creating a YouTube channel. And that is factor number 1. If you do not believe that it is possible for you to reach the goal you're going for, or if you don't believe that it's possible for you, then you're going to struggle. And the way that I check in with these factors is by asking myself on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all and 10 being 100%, how much do I believe that what I'm going for is possible and possible for me to achieve? Because I might believe that having a successful YouTube channel is possible. Look at the YouTubers out there who have, 50,000, 100,000, 1 million, 2 million subscribers. It's possible, but is it really possible for me? That's where the doubt lay. And in part because as I was looking at what other YouTubers were doing and the content they were producing, it wasn't really anything that I could see myself doing. So I thought, they could be successful perhaps doing what they're doing and providing the content that they're providing. But what I want to do, maybe there's not a market for it. So there was doubt there. Also, there was doubt because I had this YouTube channel for some time and did not really amass a lot of views or subscribers. And so I had not seen success before. They say faith is belief in something you haven't seen. And so I hadn't seen it. So I didn't really have the belief. So for me, on a scale of 1 to 10, I put myself at a 7 this time last year for having success and believing that I could have success with my YouTube channel. Not a really, really low score, but not a high score, not a 9 or a 10 that really gives you the oomph that propels you toward success. So that's factor number 1. Do you believe it's possible and possible for you to achieve the goal you're going for? Number 2 has to do with your level of commitment. And for me, I was committed. I knew I wanted to have a successful YouTube channel. And success, I will say, is something that you gauge on your own merits. People who will look at my channel and say, oh, we only have, 700 or so subscribers. Your videos only have a couple hundred to 1,000 views on them. Is that really success? That's success for me. But I was committed at a level 10 because I, as a speaker, enjoy speaking and see YouTube as a great platform to get my message out. So I was going to do what it took to have success, whether that was time, energy, money, getting out of my comfort zone, whatever that was, I was going to be fully committed so that I could have my success. So that's factor number 2. And factor number 3 is, was I believing that I was worthy and deserving of having a successful YouTube channel? Well, yeah. There was no doubt in my mind, why wouldn't I be worthy and deserving of having a successful YouTube channel? That never cropped up in my mind. And this is a factor that some people struggle with understanding. And I just kind of want to put it in terms like this. Somebody might say, I wouldn't feel really good being successful in this endeavor because there are other people out there who may have a better message to send, but might not have the means. They might have the money, not have the money to buy the camera or the equipment to start a YouTube channel. And so therefore, I would feel bad about and not worthy of reaching success. Now, this is kind of faulty logic because you're not being successful because somebody else might not have the privilege or the means to do something. Only hurts you, and it doesn't help them. It doesn't help them to be able to do the thing. This is how this deservability criteria kind of falls into place. So for me, it was a 7 in my level of belief that it was possible for me, a 10 in commitment, and a 10 in deservability. So boom. And I set out. I set out to create this YouTube channel. Now, in order to create my business, I signed up with a business coach and her program to really give me a framework and a track to run on. Because when I first started out, I didn't have that and I didn't have success. And so now I have this track to run on. So I was a 7 as I started to produce videos, upload videos, get followers. I started to increase the belief that this was going to be successful and it was possible for me to be successful. So at the end of 4 or 5 months, my 7 went to an 8. At the end of 6 or 7 months, it went to a 9. And what pushed it to a 10 was an appearance on a podcast episode, Picky Girl Travels the World. And I'll put a link to that up here so you can check that out if you haven't already seen it, where her subscribers were similar to mine. And so they came over to my channel and they started subscribing and consuming my content. And that is when I started to really see the momentum. And that gave me a boost and took me to a level 10. And so now I am really in this to continue on and have even greater success. So those are the 3 factors. That's how it played out in my YouTube journey. Not so confident, too confident because I did certain things. I got help when I needed to. I followed the plan because I was committed to do so and I believed I was worthy of it. And little by little, I started to see progress. And then seeing progress helps to fuel that belief. And so there you have it. Those are the 3 factors. Now, I said at the beginning of this video that I was going to share with you how you can use this to help you to prepare to move abroad more confidently and more sustainably. So these are the 3 questions you need to ask yourself if you're planning a move abroad, or if you're planning to undertake another big thing. And the first question is, at what level do I believe that this thing I'm going for, moving abroad, is possible and possible for me to achieve? On a scale of 1 to 10. If you're not at a 9 or a 10 when you answer that, answering it honestly, then there's some work to be done in your belief building, whether that be hiring help, whether that be just taking a step forward to see what the next step is, whether that be researching other people who are just like you who have had success, right? Whatever that thing is that's going to give you the belief. Now, the higher that number, the more belief you have and the easier it's going to be for you to take that first step, even though you don't see proof of it yet. The lower it is, the harder it is for you to take a step because, well, why do it if you don't believe it's going to happen? So it may take some inner work, some coaching to get you to that place. All right, so that's the first question you ask yourself. The second question is, how committed to achieving this goal? How committed to moving abroad am I on a scale of 1 to 10? How committed to cleaning out that jam-packed attic? How committed to leaving friends and family behind? How committed to working on myself so that when I show up in this new place, when it gets hard, things roll off my back? How committed to stepping out of my comfort zone am I to doing this? And take an honest look, ask yourself that question, and then rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Again, if you're not at a 9 or a 10, there's some work to be done in that commitment level. And you may need to ask yourself, well, why am I doing this in the first place? Because what you think you're going to get out of something can help to fuel that level of commitment. And then the third question you ask yourself is, do I really believe that I deserve to have this thing I'm going for? And if the answer is on a scale of 1 to 10 is low, if it's not a 9 or a 10, that's where you need to focus the work on. Where does that lack of worthiness in having this thing come from? As I said before, a lot of times I hear people saying, well, I'd like to move abroad, but I'm living in a really privileged country, and moving from there when other people are trying to get in kind of feels like maybe I don't really deserve to do this thing. Again, I believe that everybody has some privilege on some level, no matter how small, and you're looking at your privilege as something that you need to discount or give yourself a disadvantage because of, and bring down your worthiness score really doesn't help anybody. And the way that I put this in terms is, when you are the happiest that you can be, then you are showing up in the world the best that you can be, and you're just helping the world in that way. So if it's your dream to live in a foreign country, while others might be dreaming to get into your country and they might not have the means or the wherewithal to do it, don't let that block your worthiness level, and work to think about, why it is that you don't feel like you deserve it, so that you can quash that guilt, get rid of that, because that will act to sabotage any efforts that you have. You might have success, you might see success, but you will sabotage if you don't believe you're worthy of it. So those are the 3 factors. Which one of those factors do you think is the most important in actually having success in achieving a goal? Comment below. Now, moving abroad is not an easy undertaking. There's the logistical piece, and there's the mindset piece. And this is all about mindset. So if you found yourself scoring yourself a little low on any one of those categories, then let's have a conversation so we can kind of see where you are, where you need to be, and how you can work through that so that you can rate yourself higher and have a greater chance of success and happiness as you plan your move abroad. Because the joy is not only in getting to the end state, but the joy is in the journey, as cliche as that sounds. So I'm going to put a link to my calendar in the description. Feel free to schedule some time with me so we can work through that. Now, that is all I have for you today. I am so excited that I have made it through this first year as a YouTuber, an intentional YouTuber, and I am so grateful to each and every one of you for watching, for subscribing, for commenting, for liking my videos, and for sharing them. So I will see you again next time. Bye for now.